All right, and I'm back.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could
Okay.
it mean?
So the moral
Stanley
of the
decided to
story
go to
is
the meeting
don't
room.
jump
Perhaps
off
he had
the
simply
elevator.
missed a memo.
That is kind of a theme of mine, though, isn't it? Jumping off from high.
When Stanley came to a
yeah, I'm
set
going
of
the
two
other
open,
way.
this was not the correct way to the
I
meeting
know,
room.
it
and
wasn't right
Stanley
to
knew
jump
it
off the
perfectly
elevator
well.
either, but
Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first,
yeah, we'll go
just
through
to
the employee
admire it.
lounge. Look at this,
Wow.
nice.
Yes, this room.
Hey,
But eager to get back
I'm
to
not
business,
taking the first door on the
Stanley
left.
took the first open door
I'm
on
not
his
doing
left.
it, sir. Deal with it. I was so good at following.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he
Now, is
wasn't
that-
fired years ago.
I guess I can't make that even from here before it starts moving. No, I
Look,
think-
Stanley, I think perhaps
yeah.
we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not.
Yeah,
I
did go-
realize that
I am
investing
going
your
up.
trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. Please, stop trying to make every decision by yourself. Now, I'm not asking for me, I'm asking for her.
For her.
This is it, Stanley. Your chance to redeem yourself. To put your work aside. To let her back into your life. She's been waiting.
And
That's her, Stanley. You need to be the one to do this. To reach out to her.
at least that one had a cord on it. That's bright. Back at my
Oh,
office.
Stanley, is that you? Hold on, sweetie. Sorry to keep you waiting. I'm just pulling the bread out of the oven. All right. Okay,
Can't
there we
move.
go. All right, now, I want you to come in and tell me all about your...
Gotcha. Oh, come on. Did you actually think you had a loving wife who'd want to
didn't
commit their
know.
life to you? I'm trying to make a point here, Stanley. I'm trying to get you
'cause I
to
can't
see
follow
something.
directions?
Come inside. Let me show you what's really going on here.
Yes, sir.
This is a very sad story about the death of a man named Stanley.
Why?
Stanley is quite a boring fellow. He has a job that demands nothing of him, and every button that he pushes is a reminder of the inconsequential nature of his existence. Look at him there, pushing buttons, doing exactly what he's told
Yes,
to
I
do.
am. Of course I
Now
am.
he's pushing a button. Now he's eating lunch. Now he's going home. Now he's coming
puts a
back to
chair
work.
in the door?
One might even feel sorry for him, except that he's chosen this life.
Was that a O or a 0? It is not a 0.
But in his mind, in his mind, he can go on fantastic adventures.
K-N-O.
From behind his desk, Stanley dreamed of wild expeditions into the unknown, fantastic discoveries of new lands. It was wonderful. And each day that he returned to work was a reminder that none of it would ever happen to him.
Thank you. K-N-O-Z.
And so he began to fantasize about his own job. First, he imagined that one day while at work, he stepped up from his desk to realize that all of his co-workers, his boss, everyone in the building had suddenly vanished off the face of the earth. The thought excited him terribly. So he went further. He imagined
I
that he
guess if
came
I'm
to
doing
two
everything
open
opposite,
doors
I should
and
not
that he
push
could
the
go
right
through
button.
either.
I don't think it works.
At last, choice. It barely even mattered what lay behind each door. The mere thought that his decisions would mean something was almost too wonderful to behold.
It won't let me push another button.
As he wandered through this fantasy world, he began to fill it with many possible paths and destinations. Down one path lay an enormous round room with monitors and mind controls.
been
And down another was a yellow line that weaved in many directions. And down another was a game with a baby. And he called it the Stanley Parable.
Oh, 8. I thought that was a
It
D.
was such a wonderful fantasy, and so in his head he relived it again, and then again, and again, over and over, wishing beyond hope that it would never end, that he might always feel this free. Surely there's an answer down some new path, mustn't there be? Perhaps if he played just one more time. But there is no answer. How could there possibly be? In reality, all he's doing is pushing the same buttons he always has. Nothing has changed. The longer he spends here, the more invested he gets, the more he forgets which life is the real one. And I'm trying to tell him this, that in this world he can never be anything but an observer, that as long as he remains here, he's slowly killing himself. But he won't listen to me. He won't stop. Here, watch this. Stanley, the next time the screen asks you to push a button, do not do it.
I said I'm doing the opposite.
You see? Can he just not hear me? How can I tell him in a way that he'll understand that every second he remains here, he's electing to kill himself? How can I get him to see what I see? How can I make him look at himself?
I still can't push other buttons, so...
I suppose I can't. Not in the way I want him to. But I don't make the rules. I simply play to my intended purpose, the same as Stanley. We're not so different, I suppose. I'll try once more to convey all this to him. I'm compelled to. I must. Perhaps, well, maybe this time he'll see.
Compel yourself,
Maybe this
sir.
time. And I tried again.
Please die.
And Stanley pushed a button. And I tried again. And Stanley pushed a button. And I
Uh-oh. Really? Stanley, you suck in an awesome way. I'm gonna call it. Peace!